Welcome back to Always Wandering Art. Today we are painting the barn behind me, or the farm stand. I've been coming here for years. These are our friends at Blooming Hill Farm. We love coming here to support them. Here's our reference photo, but we're going to make this a snowier scene. Here's the sketch, and here we go. Paper of choice is Arch's rough watercolor paper, and I've laid out the materials and colors for your viewing pleasure. Setting up here by wetting the paper for a wet on wet sky technique using a 1.5 inch flat brush. Cobalt and ultramarine blue for the sky. If you're familiar with the song that goes "Purple Mountains in the Distance," this is why. Anything far away like this usually has a purplish hue to it, or in our case, violet. Here on the right side, I'm also trying to show trees and things in the distance there. A light wash of Hooker's Green and raw sienna for the hedges out front. And that's good enough for now. Now let's get ready to paint the barn. The roof of the barn will be catching light because the light is coming from the top left. Since the light is coming from the top left, the right side of the barn will be in shadow. Underneath the roof, even on the left side, will be quite dark as well, but not as dark as on the right. I'm using negative painting to paint in the windows because I didn't feel like putting a whole bunch of masking fluid on, but that is a way to go as well if you're concerned about losing some of that white. Putting in that detail can be sort of tedious, but if you just take your time and go slow, it will pay off. A little dry brush technique here, using very little water and mostly paint to create a old rustic effect. It's always quite dark underneath the eave of the roof. I'm adding some color here to the snow because it would look quite flat if I had left the snow completely white. Even when painting a dense tree like a pine tree, it really helps to leave white spaces in between the branches. As Bob Ross would say, a happy little tree lives here. And another one all the way back there. Putting in another tree in the foreground here. To create the effect that the branches are getting thinner, I pull my rigger brush away from the paper as the branches get thinner. The painting is pretty much laid out now. What remains to really enhance the painting are some winter shadows. First, I'll apply some shadows underneath the hedges, where it'll be dark since the light is coming in from the top left. And now for the posts, shadows on the right side. For the shadow from this main tree here in the foreground, I'm just trying to mimic the way the branches are growing and also not making the shadows too straight so that the shadows represent how the land is shaped. And when painting tree shadows, usually the shadow is darkest just where it comes off the base of the tree trunk and then gets lighter as it gets away from the tree or the post. Notice that the shadows are all going toward the right since the light is coming in from the left. Just some last minute details here and we're just about there. As always, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Thank you very much for watching.